We often talk about pollution in regards to the environment and green space, but as we now live in a digital era, the term has evolved to include information pollution in cyberspace. Dr. Park Yu Hyun tells us how her project InfollutionZERO tackles this problem. Hello, Dr. Park.
Hello.
Hi, thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you for having me today.
Now, I understand that this project is set to receive a UNESCO prize for the creative use of information technology in education. Tell us a little bit about InfollutionZERO in depth.
Thank you very much. Infollution is a new world combining information and pollution. Basically, any side effect from IT revolution. You can think of any bad thing from internet and mobile, digital device, game addiction, open access to obscene and violent materials to children, cyberbullying, privacy issue, viral rumors, online predators. So these things are recalled infollutions.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find the story related to infollution in newspaper these days. And we consider it as a next generation pollution in the digital world. And InfollutionZERO is a non-profit initiative to stop disinfollution in our digital world. And what we do is through high-level academic research, ITC education, and public awareness campaign, we try to ensure that this digital IT revolution helps our children not destroy their potential.
Mm-hmm. Is the focus specifically on children then?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
What age group?
Well, that's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we try to start from very early stage because now the average age that starts internet and digital media is 3 years old officially in American age.
Mm-hmm.
In Korea. That means that like if you have a kid, you can see the kids view iPod and iPad starting from 1 year old. They basically are babysitters now.
Mm.
So I think it is important to start early, as soon as possible, as early as possible. And our specific target group is under primary kids or below primary kids.
I see. And are there plans to expand the age group to include a little older children as well?
Sure, definitely. We created a project called IZ Hero Project. IZ stands for InfollutionZERO.
Yeah.
But IZ Hero, what we portray is a digital hero. We have a healthy identity, self-identity, as well as a moral relationship, healthy relationship with others. It sounds like non-digital, but I think the core issue is about how we develop children in a very sound way. And project-wise, what we have done previously in Korea, which was prized by UNESCO, is IZ Hero Adventure, which was a digital interactive exhibition in National Science Museum in Korea. We actually use a peer mentoring system. So basically, not peer. It was a high school kids who volunteer for this exhibition, teach the younger kids to learn about the cyber issue in their own terms. And what we found is that the high school kids were receive a more benefit than the primary school kids because while they're explaining the issue, they learn about the issue and they get benefit to really see the issue from their own eyes and also to explain the issue to other kids, their learning get deeper.
Why the focus on children, though? What kind of impact do these digital pollutants have on children specifically?
I think there's a key issue that we have to realize. For children, the digital world is quite different from what we perceive as a digital world. So for us, for adults, basically internet is some tool that we send emails or or read newspapers. But for kids, it's a second reality. They learn, they interact, and also they form their self-identity and relationship with others through the digital world. So that's why I really pay attention to kids, because they're basically our future. And if we don't protect our kids from the digital world, any harmful effect from the digital world, that is our actually next generational issue.
And you have 2 children yourself, I understand.
Yes. That's actually the beginning of the whole story. Yes,
So how are you keeping them safe from digital pollution?
Very difficult. I'm not different from any other parent, and I always struggle with my kids, how to cut down their time in front of TV, in front of internet, in front of my smartphone. And one thing that I always keep in mind is that we have to have a fair balance. Because of InfollutionZERO, we don't take out the digital devices or internet from our kids. Our focus is how to help them to learn about digital citizenship and digital literacy.
It's not to deprive them of the digital experience.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say are some parallels between pollution in the physical sense and pollution in the virtual sense?
I think it goes more deeper discussion. I think they are both side effects of new technology revolution. The pollution to 18th and 19th century industrialization revolution, then the pollution to 21st century IT revolution. So if pollution has ruined our physical world, then we can say pollution can ruin our children's mental environment, I think. So more worrisome part is how we deal with pollution and pollution. In 18th and 19th century, there are some people who expressed concern about pollution, but their voice were not heard because of, at the time, the growth of economy was a big issue. And they only see the positive part. That's a human being, we all do. And what is the reality? What is the result by that neglection now? So I want to focus on the pollution. It has to be prevention, not to be repercussion.
You have extensive experience working as a new media consultant and researcher. What made you leave your job and start this InfollutionZERO project? Well,
that's most frequently asked question to me. But I don't consider myself as like leaving one job to another. I was naturally led to this initiative as a mom and also as an expert in the digital media industry. What I actually paid attention the first time was the obscene materials in the internet. Basically, if you open the newspaper, and now online newspaper, it's not difficult to find obscene advertisement, even in a major news outlet. And also game industry is quite booming. And it's industrialized, and also industry changes and trend. And it's also a social trend. And when it comes to kids, we only point to kids. We point a finger at kids. Why do you keep playing video games? Why do you, just addicted to the internet? But we actually, as adults who are responsible for the social change, let it happen. We didn't put the proper guideline. We didn't put the proper protection for our kids. So, that's the start of this initiative.
Yeah. Do you think it is possible to get rid of these types of pollutants from cyberspace, though?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. A side effect is a flip coin of every glamorous things. We can get rid of bad part. That's how the human society has evolved. So what we try to say is not get rid of. Of course, we have to get rid of these pollutants as much as possible. But what I'm focusing on for this time being is to protect our children and help them to empower themselves to overcome any difficulties or any problems for the pollutions.
I see.
Yes.
And to that effect, I understand InfollutionZERO involves the concept of digital citizenship. Can you explain that?
Yes, it's a quite broad word, and in the academic world, it's also as area to be distributed. So it can be considered in a many way in this time, for a time being. But what we focus is that how they learn to be sound, as a healthy citizen in the society. Society. Digital citizenship means how they they can be responsible citizens in the digital world. So it is a very similar concept, how you want to raise your children to be a responsible citizen in a society. So in Korean terms, we use the terms netizen and also netiquette. So etiquette in the web space.
Right.
But it should be broader than just netiquette, how they behave. But we want to say they have to aware of a various issue, like we learn, don't cross the road when there's a red line. Very simple rules that we teach in the physical world has not been done in digital world. So we want to start from a very early stage, and then it's like a building block, one by one.
Now, you might have inspired quite a lot of parents out there to do something to protect their children from infollution. What would be some easy steps that they could take themselves?
Sure. I think it's critical for parents to be involved in this initiative because parent is the first protection of children for every dimension. Like we do, we don't let the children to talk to a stranger in a physical world, right? So likewise, they have to aware what are the issues in the online. Online predators in cyberspace is not a new news anymore. Yes. So, but the many parents do not understand the issue in the internet because they themselves have a mental barrier when it comes to internet or game. So, first of all, they have to learn and they have to aware of the issue. And second, there are a lot of technology that can help parents to block, not all, but reasonable amount of infollution to their kids. The filtering software and also antivirus software, and there are some monitoring software as well. So they have to learn the practical tips to keep children safe. And also, more importantly, they have to set the house rule about the digital media, how they want to use digital media. I don't usually tell them to how many hours to be allowed for the children to play video games and so on. But they have to have an open discussion with their kids. And they have to set up the rule. Otherwise, it's not like we always set up all kinds of house rules in other areas, but it has not been done in a digital space.
What role could the government play then to reduce infollution and better protect our children?
That's a definitely great question. Government is also the key stakeholder in this game. It's, as I said, I believe that infollution is not an individual issue; it's a societal issue, and government has to step up and see how they can better protect the children, especially in the Korean the society. We are most wired country in the world, and we're the number one when it comes to the IT area, and I'm also very proud of that. But also at the same time, they have to understand is the digital culture. So I called it a green digital world. It's green digital culture. So they have to think about this. It's not about protecting children. It's about the sustainability of next generation when it comes to digital world. So of course, the government has to pay attention to regulation and how to keep our children safe. So, for instance, the shutdown, the law, and there are some law that the government took strong initiative to protect the children. There has been a lot of debates about what is right and what is wrong, But I don't want to give a judgment about which policy has been successful and which has not been. But I think I want to see governments wants to have the holistic approach to protect the children from various influence. Currently, our government have a different working silo. Like 4 or 5 ministry is work on the various different parts. But I think it's more important to have the consolidated effort to give a holistic view.
I understand you're currently based in Singapore.
Yes.
When you compare Korea to other countries like Singapore, for example, are there country-specific problems as well?
Sure. Because it's a cultural issue. It's a one influence issue may not be applied to other countries. So, for instance, for our country, the Korea, the key issue is now the game addiction.
Yeah.
All parents concerned about game addiction.
Yeah.
I think basically in Korea, but which is not saying is true in Singapore. Singapore government, Singapore society, the more issue is about how to regulate the kids, the hour. So for instance, so game addiction is important, but their issue is less compared to Korea situation. For instance, gaming, and also cyberbullying. In the U.S., cyberbullying and privacy invasion is a big issue, but it's also a big issue in Korea. But in the U.S., culturally, this type of issue has been more highlighted.
I see. So what sort of future plans and goals do you have for InfollutionZERO?
We are quite ambitious. Yes. We started out InfollutionZERO project in Korea, very small exhibition, together with KISA and also National Science Museum at Gwacheon. Now we moved this exhibition and scale up 10 times in Singapore. And in Singapore, early next year, we are going to launch a second exhibition, but much larger scale and with the permanent exhibition. And also we are going to launch various other interactive devices, web portals and web games and so on. So Singapore is our next target, but sky is our limit. Yes, we are working with, we plan to work with UNESCO and spread this education materials in Southeast Asia countries, and to put this education materials as a prevention, because their infrastructure, IT infrastructure, is less mature compared to Singapore and Korea, and it's very effective to start from early and start when there is not been a setup. Yes, and also we talking with the European countries and U.S. How we can smartly collaborate and have a consortium to work on this issue simultaneously.
Wow. Sounds great. Thank you very much for educating us about Infollution today. And
thank you very much.
Wish you lots of luck with your work.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's Dr. Park Yu Hyun, co-founder and CEO of InfollutionZERO, a nonprofit that is designed to rid cyberspace of digital pollution and protect our children from it as well. And with that, we're going to wrap up 101.3 Main Street for this Wednesday. Thanks, as always, for being with us. Stay tuned for K-Popular with As One coming up after the midday news. I'm An Jang-hyun. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on the dot. Taking us out today is Barbara Streisand with All the Children.